going to be take 2?
No, this is it. This is one take.
Okay.
It's like our movies. We've been doing, not many takes. Every interview is definitely one take.
Okay.
But it's okay. I can cut it
Okay.
later. Yeah. It's probably going to be a lot more of you than me. Just have my voice.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are we rolling?
Yeah.
Are you recording?
Yeah. We've started.
Oh, okay. I was waiting for an action.
Action.
Okay. Well, maybe you can start off by introducing yourself. Like, how would you describe yourself? How would you introduce yourself?
How would I introduce myself? On which I make movies. Father of 3.
Okay.
I'm the director of the movie Bang, producing it as well, and as well as shooting it as a DP. And I've been doing movies for 25 years now, and it's the only thing I know how to do.
Well, what made this script or this movie stand out to you? Like, what made you want to do this?
It was written by Peter Lenkoff, who I've known for 20-some years, and way back when I first got to LA, I met Peter and we worked together on Ballistic, and this script came about. I remember on 2 years ago, on August 25th, which is my birthday, coincidentally, one night in Bangkok, my last movie was released, and in the States, and the very next day, I got a call from Peter. And Peter and I, we communicate off and on over the years, but it's not like an everyday text kind of thing, And he called me and he said, I just watched One Night in Bangkok. He's like, I really liked it, And then he found out how much we made it for, which was, not much. And that really impressed him even more. But he called me because he had just written this script. At the time, it was called Valentine's, and he thought I'd be the perfect guy to do it. So he sent it to me, and I read it. Like everything Peter Lenkoff writes, it's just a step above. Some people may look at the movie Bang. It's action, it's nonstop action. It could be even described as maybe even like generic action or whatever. But the way Peter writes it, the way his characters work in the world, it's just a step above. I get a lot of scripts, and I know a lot of really good writers, but in terms of this genre, I think very few are better than Peter Lenkoff. And the great part about it too is because we're friends, and because he knew, like, if I was going to do it, it wouldn't be like a big budget type movie. He basically gave me the script for free. So, can't say no to that.
Well, are you happy with how it's going so far? We're almost wrapping, so.
We have 1 day left, and that day is just really one quick scene. So, pretty much we're literally like 95% of it is in the hard drive, cloud. I'm super happy about it. It's been an incredible shoot. My shoots are typically very low key. 25 years doing this, I've gotten to the point where 85 to 90% of the crew are familiar faces. Out of that 85 to 90%, my key people, 100% of them have been with me for a very long time. Some of them 10, 15 years, some of them more. And it's people say it a lot, but I really feel like on our set, on this set, on any of my sets, it's a very family situation, and we move fast. I think we do good work, and it's only because we've been doing it forever. But having said all of that, I think this one, the past 3 or 4 years, we've been making, our movies have been, the budget has been lower. We've been operating at a lower budget level, and that presents a whole sort of host of other difficulties, The skill set is the same, but when you have more money, everything's a little bit better. Things, better equipment, better talent.
Yeah.
And I think really on this one, what makes it stand out for me is the cast. Jack Kesey, Peter Weller, Steve Bastoni, Tristan Mays, you know, yourself. I think I've told you this before. You are my biggest X factor. You know, like I haven't. I've worked with a lot of local actors, you know, but they're non-Thai local actors. They're Thai, but they don't really do Thai movies, you know, and you know, they work a lot on like the foreign productions that come, you know, like Pipu Sahajak is someone I, you know, really good friend of mine, really super talented actor. I may see him in one or two Thai movies, you know, but basically, if you're a movie with a decent budget, and you're a foreign movie that shoots in Thailand, people was in the movie, you know, and so those are the type of actors I've worked with. I've never really worked with someone who, you know, is quote unquote, you know, like a star, a Thai celebrity, and yeah, I decided like on this one, you know, for the role of Gwen, I wanted someone Thai. I don't know why. I can't remember why I wanted it because we had options, you know, and stuff. But I was like, no, I want someone Thai. And then you were, you know, you were the one that, you know, we spoke, you know, and everything. I hit it off with you, and I felt good about you. And but coming into this, like genuinely, like I was like, I don't know how this is gonna be, you know. Like I was like, you know, like is this gonna be like, am I gonna have to spend? Because like, as a director, I feel like. And this may sound really bad, but it's true. I feel like with actors, if it goes well, 80% of my work should be in the casting. You know, once the casting is done, right? We have 15% that we work on, like we talk, you know, before we shoot, you know, the read through, going through all the characters and everything. And then the last 5% is fine tuning for me on set. Like, hey, you know what? Can you do that slower, you know, or, you know, like, that was a little too mad, you know, like, you know, bring it, you know, yeah, so like 80% of it is casting, is how I see it, you know. Obviously, if you cast wrong, then like I got to spend more time on set, you know, getting work and everything, and that was my biggest fear. I was like, all right, with Maria, like, am I gonna be, you know, is this gonna be like, you know, a 15 take actor, like, you know, like every setup is it gonna be, you know, and you know, happy to say that, like, you know, none of my fears were, you know, they're completely unfounded, and you know, you were like, you were really terrific, amazing, like no different to Jack or Peter, you know, and Steve, you know, these guys are really good actors. Peter and Steve have been doing this for a long time, you know, and you can tell the more, you know, they're fantastic actors, you know, and Jack's right there with them, you know, in terms of Jack's stuff is more non-verbal, which I think sometimes can be harder, but he nails it, and you know, like, yeah, you've been brilliant, and so overall, out of 10, there's like 9.8. You know, like 0.2 of it are like little technical stuff, right, that nobody needs to know about, right? But it's like, I'm really happy with this, you know, and I really think it's gonna surprise a lot of people, especially the action fans, you know, because I think we've got really solid action, like really good action, but you know, the characters and the stories, it's like, and everyone says it, everyone who's making a movie, like especially an action movie, they all say the same thing, but I really believe like this, you know, like we mean it, and they'll see it.
I feel like a lot of your work is based on trust. Like you've told me before when I asked you, like, what do you think about this? What if they got this wrong? And all you say is that you trust your team.
Yeah.
That you trust your team a lot, and I'm pretty sure that your team also trusts you.
Yeah.
That was actually one of the things. I mean, I also had fears coming to this project because I didn't really know how high your expectations would be of me.
Yeah.
And I did have a small fear of like, I don't know, messing it up or not living up to what you were expecting.
Yeah.
But then I do feel like eventually, after having worked with you for a while, that I sort of learned that I can trust you.
Yeah.
And then when you say it's good, it's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it is. It's 100% trust, you know, and no one. I don't care who you are. I don't care how many Academy Awards you have or whatever. No one can make a movie by him or herself. It's impossible, you know. And I'm very proud of my crew. I mean, like, you know, outside of my family, like my kids, that is probably the thing that I'm most proud of, you know, is the crew that I have around me, you know. it's taken a long time. Like this didn't happen overnight, right? A lot of the crew, you know, a lot of the operators, a lot, you know, like they had to go through a process with me, you know, every one of them, you know, because of the way I shoot, because of the way I like my lights, you know, and everything. It's like I break all the rules, you know, like first of all, I don't believe there are rules in filmmaking. I know they have rules, you know, and I think they're like the rules are the good, like anything, you know, they're the good basics that you need to have, right? And then like once you know them, it doesn't mean you need to follow them on everything, you know, because it's an art form. Filmmaking is an art form. So with art, like anything, you know, in the creative field, there is no right or wrong.
Yeah.
It's whether what people like, what people don't like, you know. One of my favorite directors that I admire, you know, Michael Bay, you know, like for, you know, 20-some years now, even when I was in college and everything, you know, you look at his movies, you know, and they're gorgeous. They're beautifully shot and everything, and, you know, in one scene, you know, it's like they're outdoors and there's like 3 suns, you know, like who cares? No one cares, right? But everybody looks good, you know, like there's light in everyone's eyes, you know, everyone's got a kick to them, everyone's got a backlight, you know, no matter which way you turn.
Yeah.
And I think that's great, you know, but a lot of people like to be like, okay, one key light, you know, like you can't have more than one key, you know, like if you're outdoors, the sun's there, you know, and I like I want everyone to look good, you know, like I want everything to look good, and that's how, you know, and you know, I've ingrained that to my crew now, so like they know, right? They know the framing I like, you know, they know, like, you know, and but none of that matters if the actors don't trust me, you know, because the speed and the quality, like no matter how good, you know, it looks, no matter how, you know, like if the actors don't buy into it and they don't bring that character to life, then, you know, you're fucked, you know. Oh, oops, then like then it doesn't work, you know. And I feel like that's probably my biggest strength as a director is making the actors feel comfortable, right? Because like I'm not a theater person, like I said, which is why, like, I believe for me, casting is 80% of my directing, right? And then, like, once I cast a person, my job is to make you feel comfortable, right? And part of that comfort is you absolutely have to trust me, right? And then, and it makes it easier if I trust you, you know? And if we trust each other, then everything's easy. And, but I feel like I'm able to do that because I'm honest. Like if it wasn't good, like I would tell you, like it doesn't work, you know, like I wouldn't be like, you know, and I think that's the other thing, you know, people make it too complicated, you know. Filmmaking is hard, but it's not impossible. It's as hard as you want to make it, right? And your job as sort of like the leader, you know, as a producer, as a director, as a DP, whatever, is to make something that could be incredibly complex and hard and simplify it as much as possible. And then and that's what I try to do.
Well, you're doing a good job at it.
Thank you.
Because I've been on this set and I feel like one thing that I have really realized is that, one, it's really organized. Everyone knows exactly what they're supposed to be doing, but at the same time, you made me feel really comfortable, especially in my first days when I was still really nervous. So it's sort of like, there's a lot of, there's like a family element to it, but also it's very structured and organized, and that obviously helps. That's obviously a big deal in movie making.
I'm really glad you said that, you know, because like a lot of people that visit our set it doesn't look like we're structured or organized because it's so laid back. You know, like you go on other sets, there's always someone yelling, right? Like, you know, there's no yelling on my set ever.
Yeah, because you don't need yelling.
Yeah, you know, like because
everybody
knows what they're doing, you know, but people come. And, you know, I have friends come all the time, and they're like, what do you do? Because they see me sitting around, I'm like, dude, my job is done. Like, you know, if I'm here on set, and I'm telling you, like, you know, something messed up somewhere, you know, and we make up, like I make stuff up all the time, right? Like, I don't have a plan. Like, I don't do a shot list. I don't, you know, I scout. I do a tech scout, and I tell my crew exactly what I want to do. But I always, like, in every scene, I have an idea, but I like my actors to help me block, right? I like tell me what you want to do, you know, because I believe my actors, if they do their job, like you said, if they're prepared, they know that character much more than me. My job is to make sure that the big picture tonally is right for the scene, right? but the actors have to know what they're doing. Like they have to understand the character much better than me. So it's like, we're sitting here, like this is what's gonna happen, So it's like as Gwen, you're like, okay, like I kind of want her to do this and this. How you do it, when you do it, stuff is entirely up to you. The only thing I might ask is like, start behind the counter, right? And make you work your way, and then we talk about it. And if you're like, she'll never be behind the counter, I'm not a person who goes, no, like, I want you behind the counter, but tell me why, right? And if you tell me why, and the reasoning is sound, then all right, we won't start behind the counter. I'll change the shot, like it's a movie. There's no right or wrong. So, and I feel like I've learned over the years that the more you involve everybody, your actors, your crew, my PAs or whatever, the more you involve them in the process, the more invested they become. So the product is ultimately better because they care more. If they're just sitting there, like, even in the PA, if they're just sitting there moving stuff and not involved at all, right, then they don't care. So what I always try to do, even like when the crew is working on setting things up and I'm sitting around not doing anything, I engage everybody. I engage the PAs, I ask them for their opinions, I may never use it, right, but I make it a point. The only thing that I'm really bad at is names. Like I remember faces, like, God, there's a person here who I see on every set for the last 10 years. I have no idea what his name is. And I don't want to ask because I've asked like 100 times already, like, and I just don't remember names, it's not, I know who he is, I know what he does, I just don't remember names, and there's 170 people on this movie.
Yeah.
There's 140 on the last one, there's going to be 200 on the next one. It's like I can't remember everybody's name.
That's understandable.
Yeah, but it makes me feel bad. It's a good thing though, because like in Thai, like as you know, like in America it would be harder because everyone calls each other by their names.
Yeah.
Like, hey James, I need, you can't just be, you can't
Hey,
exactly,
brother.
here, like you're the, I don't care if they're, I like PP, and then like it's all good.
Yeah. How about expectations? Do you have any expectations for this movie? Or
I have
positioning?
expectations, yes, but the expectations are my own, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like you mentioned earlier, like before you came in, I did have very high expectations of you, but my expectations were founded, right? It's the same thing. When you came in to do the workshop with me at the office, and I remember telling you, I was blown away by the work that you had done, right? The amount of work, and because again. And it's a stereotype, but I accept. I fell into it. Like you're a Thai actor. Like you've done. Like,
Yeah.
and I know a lot of actors, and I've met and I've been on sets. So I wasn't expecting much, right? I was hoping, but then you came in for the workshop. After that day, my expectations of you were very high. Just myself, and you exceeded them. So I have very high expectations on this movie. It's not a financial high or anything like that, right? But I believe, like, look, in my career, because I chose to live in Thailand, I don't have access to a lot of scripts. So, and I'll be the first to say, I've made a lot of bad movies, but they were bad scripts, right? But it's a career, so I gotta work, right? I can't say no. There are not many movies that will come, ask me to work on them, and still be able to pay me the rate that I want, and because so like if they pay my rate, it's like I'll take it, right? You want to make a movie about a cat on a plane? Sure, like I do those, right?
Yeah.
So for me, this one is in a long time where like I have a decent budget. It's a great script.
Yeah.
Fantastic cast, right? The crew is great already, right? No matter what. So I haven't had this in a while, right? And it starts with a script. And usually the last 4 or 5 movies I've done that were my own, that I wasn't doing for other people, I wrote. And I'm a terrible writer, but I was the best writer I knew that would do it for free, right? So I wrote them.
Yeah.
And this one, Peter Lenkoff wrote. So this already, the starting point is like, I'm starting from
Way up
here.
there. Yeah.
And then the cast makes it, and everything. So I have very high expectations, but like I said, they're founded. They're not wishful. My expectations aren't hopeful. Like I said, I've done this a long time. I've made enough bad movies. When you're making them, and we're real. Like my crew, like my keys, people close to me, we don't blow smoke up our asses, right? Like when we're making a bad movie, we're still doing the best we can, right? But we know it's a bad script. Like we know it's not making sense, right? But this is what they want. The investors, the producers, so they're hiring us, so we deliver the job. But on this one, universally, everybody, the crew, everyone, it's pretty fucking good. Like we know we're making something good, right? And I mean, we still have to put it together, and but we feel like so I'm pretty confident. I'm really confident in this.
That's great. Why Thailand? I mean, your whole career, you've like been all over the place, right? I mean, you've worked in
Because I'm Thai.
Hollywood, and then you just like
Because I'm Thai, and why not Thailand? We have everything, right? I have my family here.
yeah.
I have my friends here. Cost of living is great. Right now, like where else would I go? America? Like I mean, let's be real. I love America. I went to school there. My daughter's American. But America's a shit show right now. Like like why would I? Like who? Every American I know wants to move out of America. And we're at. It's a perfect time right now to be a filmmaker and be global, because the film industry has changed.
Yeah.
Hollywood is not the end all be all, right? I mean, they're still the biggest. Their distribution is still king, but content is different now, right? I mean, like last year, Squid Games, #1 show. More people watch Squid
Yeah.
Game than anything else, and that's Korea. Like we could do that here. I don't have to be there to do that. And I think it's great for everybody, not just me, not just us. It's just anywhere in the world, India, wherever you are. Like if you make good content, you'll find a home. You'll find an audience for it now. So like it's my 10 years ago, that was a valid question. But now I think it doesn't matter where you are, and I love Thailand. And I'm almost 50. I've been in Thailand now 12 years, but that's only 12 years out of like I don't mind staying here and dying here. Like I'm happy here.
What do you think about the Thai production industry? Like, do you feel like you can contribute to it? Or sort of
I hope
help it
so.
grow?
I hope I can contribute to it in an indirect but significant way, especially with the younger generation. Like my crew is filled of lots of Thai, like young kids,
Yeah.
that I train up, and send them out, and hopefully that's a big help. With the new company that we have, I hope to be backing a lot of Thai talent, like Thai DPs, Thai directors, Thai writers, Thai actors,
Yeah.
I'm making more Thai movies and everything. And our industry needs to change. The Thai industry, there's too many talented people that's not being serviced. They have no outlet. They have nowhere to go, and if anything, I hope to change that. I hope to like give the talent that we have the ability to showcase their talent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the first thing I noticed about your set, is that there are so many young people. There are lots of people who are younger than me on this set.
Yeah.
Whenever I go to a Thai set, it's all older people
Yeah, no.
and people who have been doing this for
Yeah.
30 years.
Yeah. I hate that.
Yeah, I love the fact that like the younger generation is getting a chance to
Yeah.
work and like show what they're made of, show
Yeah.
what they've got, and yeah, hopefully that can influence other sets
Yeah.
or other Thai productions to sort of.
I mean, easily over 100 people have started in this career and given them help, and no one talks about it. I don't talk about it, but it's just a fact, and again, it's just something I'm very proud of, and I look to do that more and more. And I think with this new company, with this movie being the first one out of this new company, and that is my greatest hope and expectation of it, is that this movie allows me to do that, to build on the Thai talent and these young kids and young adults and everything, and hopefully they see like how movies can be made, and take that. And then the biggest thing I want them to take away from, which is very different from the Thai sets I've been on, is that the director is not God. The director cannot be God. In Thailand, I think the mentality is the director is God, and that's why our movies are the way they are. Because the director is not God. He can't be. He or she can't be God. If he or she is God, then the movie's going to suck. That's just the reality of it.
Well, as someone who's been doing Thai TV for ever since I started working, yeah, I do feel like I do hope that you do create more youngsters who are keen on doing this and are actually good at it and know how to organize an actual movie set. Yeah.
So
I do hope you do
when we
good
do when I come back and make my first Thai movie in 25 years, I'll be doing with you then.
Sounds good.
Yeah, we can end on that
Yeah.
note. Thank you.
Thank you.
That was a while.